Hello, hello, hello. This is your message from the universe for January 12th, 2021. This is the rune Algiz. Now, Algiz is the rune of protection. It is the rune of the sedges, of the elk, of the rushes. And this rune is really, when we think protection, we're thinking like armor. We're thinking like protecting us against pain. No. This rune is not about protecting you against pain. It's actually encouraging you to shift your perspective on pain and to know that when stuff is going down, that you are protected through that. It speaks about how the things we go through, the pain that we carry, the burdens that we carry are like a mirror to ourselves, to those spaces in ourselves that still need healing, and that they are there for us to learn from. So when we are in pain, when we are carrying these burdens, it may seem like they're fighting against us, it may seem like they're working against us, but really they are cooperating with us. So these are the 9 and 10 of wands, both reversed, which speak about burdens and pain and carrying them and feeling like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, but reversed. And then we have the 5 of wands, which looks like people fighting. It looks like it's conflict, but really they're working together. Really, even though it looks like they're fighting, it's actually a complicated, intricate dance for ourselves, for us, or for whomever is watching. This pain that we go through is for us to learn from, even though it feels like we're working against it. We are actually in a partnership with the universe, and these situations that we find ourselves in are a part of that partnership. That's the universe doing its part, reflecting to us, bringing to us the issues in the world that we need to deal with, the issues in ourselves that we need to deal with, the spiritual connection between the conflict and us. And that is one of the most interesting things that you can do when things start to go wrong, is to really take a good look at them and figure out your part. Now, I get this a lot. This is not blaming the victim. This is not trying to say that it's your fault that things are coming to you. Fault and blame and shame and guilt are societal constructs. They're things that we put on it, because what you would feel guilty for, somebody next to you may not feel guilty for. What you would feel shame for, someone else may not feel shame for. So we have to really, it's tailored to our situation. Because if we look at all of this as a school or as a video game, where our purpose is to integrate with that divine energy, with that God energy within us, that the purpose is to go through pain and to go through life. Like if we were playing a video game and there was no conflict, there was no quests, there was nothing to learn, there was no leveling up, it'd be like a very boring video game. If we look at what's going on here as a video game, as a storyline, we have to have that. We have to have that. And yet, as we get higher and higher, as we level up more and more, on the earth plane here, in video games, it tends to get harder and harder and harder, and then you fight the boss, and then you win, and everything's great. Here on earth, there is no boss. There is no, we're going to get harder and harder and harder until you win the game. There is no winning the game. You win the game when you recognize that you're playing a game. You win the game when you recognize that you are the game programmer, that you are the electricity that runs through the machine, when you are the controller, that you are every single choice that is being offered to you. In games, if you're a gamer, you know that if you make a choice to speak to or not speak to a particular shopkeeper, then 3 boards later or 3 levels up later, you may need the information. And if you chose not to speak to that shop owner, it's going to affect you in the now. And you're going to have to backtrack and speak to that shop owner. And that's what this is all about, is this partnership with the universe. That's what life is all about. That each choice that we make then brings the next choice. Now, if you didn't talk to that shop owner, like a choose your own adventure, maybe you end up going down a different programmed pathway for yourself. It's very much the same in our world. It's very much the same in our universe. And the thing is that winning is recognizing that we're here to learn. Winning is recognizing that we are the embodiment of divine love, God's love, or whatever you like to call him. Call him Fred. It doesn't make a difference. He, her, they. Call them Fred. It doesn't make a difference as long as you are seeking. It doesn't matter what you call it. We are in a partnership with this divine energy so that that divine energy can experience, and so that we as an individualized piece of that energy can experience and grow and learn and embrace unconditional love. Now, I know that there's a bigger picture, a planet-wide picture in the mix as well. That is not what we are talking about here. Each one of us is responsible for us, period, for what we do, period, for our choices, period. And so when we have that conflict with others, the way that we work with the conflict is to look at our place in it, to look at what we have done and our choices and how we got here, and to shift our perspective on the burdens that we carry, on the pain that we carry, to see how is this helping me or hurting me? How can I overcome this and move to the next space? And if you're not sure how, ask. Ask your questions out loud. Sit in silence. Ask your question. Listen without judgment and love yourself through it. It's not an easy thing to take responsibility for your own actions. It is not an easy thing to take accountability for your own pain and for situations that you are involved in. And you may not be responsible for what others do, but you are fully responsible for your reaction to what they have done to you or with you or near you. It's not an easy thing, but your victory is right there in front of you when you can shift all of this, when you can know that you are protected even when you allow yourself to explore the pain for your own growth. You are beloved, you matter, and you are so very loved.